Hello, everybody. I am Susie here from Start a Mom Blog, and I have a super special guest today. I have Elisa from Tailwind. She is the content marketing manager at Tailwind, and she is going to share with us kind of the ins and outs, how Tailwind and Pinterest work together. Actually, like a little bit, maybe will you share some basic Pinterest knowledge for maybe our newbies
I
that
will
don't know
share
anything?
whatever you like, Susie.
That's awesome. And then obviously she will answer all your questions about
Mhm.
Tailwind because I use some of it. I love using Tailwind for looping and scheduling my pins, but there's parts of it that I haven't even touched that I know Elisa can help us with.
Oh, good. All right.
So we have some questions, but if you guys have any questions, you can just drop them in the chat and we'll give priority to anybody on the live asking questions. So that's super exciting. So hi Sherry, hi Mandy. How are you guys doing? Um,
Hello.
then oh yeah, that's thank you, Lisa. Yes, you were talking about the blog post that I wrote, and I've written so much about Tailwind on my blog itself. I completely forgot that I guest posted for you guys earlier this week.
You did. And the comments just keep coming and coming because it's an amazing
Yes.
piece. I remember when you first sent it in the idea, it was going to be about monetizing a parenting blog. And just from your outline, I said, no, no, no. This could work for anybody and it's going to be huge. And it was, and it is, and it's wonderful. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome. Actually, like writing that post, I knew 90% of it, but there were some parts that I needed to go and research and fill in the blanks, like more of like the e-commerce side.
Yeah.
So I taught myself so much about WooCommerce now. I'm actually going to be putting a store on my blog and seeing how
Good
it
for
goes.
you. Congratulations. Yeah.
So super helpful. Um, Hi Kelly. Hi Tamika. Hi Lindsay. Awesome. So okay, so it's Kelly, that's a statement she says, I'm really been struggling with Pinterest lately, so hopefully this will help.
Oh,
So,
so sweet.
Elisa,
Mhm.
do you see seasonality in like Pinterest traffic? Like if is there like normal ebbs and flows
Oh,
with
absolutely.
traffic?
Yes. In one of the Facebook groups that I'm in, it seems like every week someone will say, my Pinterest views, and that's usually what they're looking at, right? Is the views that are reported on your profile on Pinterest have
Yes.
fallen 30% this week. And what do I do? And the world is falling apart. But it is perfectly normal. Those numbers don't actually even mean that much, really.
Right.
You should be looking at the traffic Pinterest is sending to your website to see like how is this working for you. But there are absolutely ups and downs based on day of the week and the month, if there are holidays going on, if there are big life events happening like back to school or holidays, or even when the weather started to warm up this spring, finally started to warm up this spring, we
Yeah.
noticed a big drop in Pinterest traffic because everyone wanted to be outside. Right?
Right. Right.
So it's like Pinterest is about life and life influences Pinterest. So it just goes up and down. And really the best way to compare how you're doing is to compare with yourself a year ago this time.
Okay, that is
Yeah.
very smart. Yeah, has my traffic increased from a year ago? And
Mhm.
then that would be smart. I also like I look at the analytics within Pinterest, but I take it with a big grain of salt
Oh,
because
yes.
I'm much more look at my Google Analytics and my
That is
traffic that
smart.
I'm actually getting.
Yes, that's highly recommended. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Um, cool. I'm just gonna go through the questions as we're
Okay.
chatting, make sure I don't miss anything. One thing that I absolutely love about Tailwind, and if you guys don't know what Tailwind is, maybe Elisa can give us kind of an overview of what Tailwind is, because we're now throwing like words out, and maybe somebody might not know what it is.
Yeah, that could be. It's hard to imagine, but yes. Tailwind is a scheduling and analytics program that works with Pinterest and Instagram. And we also have a cool little feature that works with Facebook.
Ooh.
So it really, oh, haven't seen that one yet?
No, I think I saw it, and then I got distracted, and my kid needed something, so I forgot about it.
I know
So tell
there's
me about
so
it.
much new coming out. It's easy to miss stuff. So this is where you can schedule a pin to go to your boards, and then at the same time you're doing that, you schedule it to go to Facebook. So even if you have it going out to, let's say you're using in Tailwind, you can create a list of boards. So let's say you have a board that is inside activity ideas for toddlers.
Yeah.
So you could have a list of boards like inside activity list for toddlers, toddler games. Let's see, keep the kids occupied. I mean, those are terrible board names, but you get the idea. So they're all related, but you put them in a board list.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can tell the Pinterest scheduler, I want to send out pins to all these boards 4 or 5 days apart, whatever you want. And then as you're doing that, now there's another option where you can check to have it go to your Facebook page as well.
Okay.
It will only go out that once.
Okay.
And you can write a separate description, and it doesn't put your Pinterest image. It goes to the blog post and pulls out the Facebook image.
Yeah, that's the right one to pull.
Yeah, and so for someone like me who I love Pinterest, Facebook is a little bit more of a challenge for me because I see more results from Pinterest.
Yeah.
But I should be keeping my page active, so it just makes it a little easier. Click that little box, customize, and go.
Okay, so that Facebook post goes out when the first pin of that schedule goes out.
Yeah.
Not exactly when I hit schedule.
Right. When that first pin goes out, and then it won't keep going out even if you schedule it to 10 boards over the next 3 weeks.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And does this work for the looping feature yet or not yet?
No, it does not at this time. I can't think how that would work. I think it would be really hard for you to keep track in your head of when, right? Because you only wanted to go out once anyway, probably.
Exactly. And you might be like looping too much on Facebook and then, I get why you probably don't have it there yet. But okay, cool. I'll check out that feature and schedule some posts to my Facebook pages.
Yeah, that works great. And then we have Tailwind Tribes, which a lot of bloggers are excited about.
Yeah, can you tell me about Tailwind Tribes? That's the one area that I haven't touched with Tailwind yet. Like I'm all about looping and board lists, but Tailwind Tribes, that's tell me about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I know you like to collaborate because you have a group. You like to help people.
Yep.
So Tailwind Tribes are groups of people who are kind of like-minded bloggers who get together in a tribe, and they can add in their best content, and then all the people in the tribe have the option then to share out content.
Okay.
So you get more reach for your pins, you can get more traffic for your site, but you can also actually interact with those people. So I have discovered a bunch of new Pinterest bloggers I didn't know existed, and I find all this great content in my tribes. And I feel like I know these people, I trust these people. I don't necessarily have to check the link before I pin it, right? I know it's going to be good content. The link's not going to be broken. And you can chat with people. So if you're thinking, I want to do a roundup post, I don't know who to do it with, you can go look at what people have put in the tribe, and you can chat with them right there if you don't have their email or anything, and just say, hey, I'm doing this post. Do you want to collaborate with me?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's a huge time saver. So I used to, had set up a Feedly. I might go to Alltop. I might just look for things as I'm tooling around the internet. But now when I'm scheduling pins, I almost never look outside my tribes because I always have really great stuff right in my tribe.
Right. And you want to help those people out anyway.
Absolutely. Yep.
That I might actually set up a Tailwind tribe for my students.
You should. Yeah. That would be great. I think a lot of people used to do like the Facebook share groups, which are good too. But the nice thing about tribes is that the tribe owner and admin can see the activity level for all the members of the tribe.
Yes. Make sure people are active.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. That is so cool. Yeah. Okay. So guys, be on the lookout. I'm going to set up a tribe for everybody who's a Blog by Number student, and then we can help each other out.
Yeah. And you can invite people who aren't even Tailwind members yet. So
how does that work then?
They'll be able to start a trial.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Very smart. Very smart. All right. So Lindsay here, I see a little question pop up. How long do you or your VA, if you have one, spend each week scheduling with Tailwind? Well, currently, am I allowed to talk about the looping feature you guys have?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Tailwind is coming out with this looping feature where you actually just add your new pins to loops that you set up. So originally what I did was, if you go to my blog, there's a semi-looping strategy that I had for the last couple of years. So what I did was I would take my board list and I would create multiple groups of my board list, and then I would loop my pins through them. It's a little hard to explain, but there's visuals in the blog post that I have. But now they actually have a looping feature where I can add my new blog post pins to that looping scheduler. And now it takes me probably like 5 minutes a week to spend on adding my pins to my Tailwind loop. So yeah, not that much time, Lindsay.
Wow, that is pretty fast. Right.
Yeah,
I just dropped that link in if you want to share it. But yeah, awesome. So it is called Smart Loop because there have been other programs out there that will just loop your pins continually without much thought into when or why or how. So we're building Smart Loop, and we're taking the recommendations. We've worked right with Pinterest to figure out what the limits should be, what the recommendations should be, so that it will require a little bit more setup. And you'll want to keep an eye on things, right? Because you don't want to be resharing pins that aren't doing well. But there is a good case for resharing pins in a sustainable manner that's not spammy.
Exactly. Yeah. So I said with like, there's nice ways in the looping feature that you can set limits, like only pin to this group board once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So you're very like non-spammy, and I do have to go check it every once in a while to make sure that I'm still clean on all my boards and I'm not being like overly sharing.
Yes. Yeah. Or even that the pins that you're looping, to make sure that they are still getting engagement, because over time, well, maybe doesn't feel as topical anymore and people aren't saving it anymore. So you don't want to be continuing to share out content that's not getting engagement, because that will over time hurt the reach of your content.
That's a good pin or a good note, because I do have a pin that says 2017 on it. So that's something I definitely don't want to share anymore. That's something that has now been dated to last year. So
right, but like you could always rework that content. I mean, not always, but most of the time you can, and give it a new image, new descriptions, and new hashtags, and see if it will do better again.
Yeah.
Pinterest loves that.
They do. And that's why I have, how many pins do you recommend per blog post? I have probably like, for my good blog posts that I know do well, I probably create 3 or 4 pins.
That's wonderful. As many as you have time for. So if you think about how long it takes you to write one of those blog posts, I mean, the one you wrote for us was massive, and I'm sure it took quite a lot of time. So it takes a lot less time to put together a nice image and description and share that. So it is a way to repurpose your content, make it go a little bit further. And Pinterest wants fresh, right? So if you think, if I create those different variations to appeal to my different followers, it's going to boost my engagement. So as many as you have time for, I think 3 or 4 is a wonderful goal.
Okay.
But especially if you're not able to create new content, like a new blog post or a new product listing every week, you need to be creating something new every week.
Definitely.
So if it has to be that you're going back to another blog post and creating a new image, that you can do that.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So Tiffany says, why isn't Tribes on the app? I wouldn't even know.
So it's not on the mobile app yet, because we just haven't gotten to things like that yet. There are so many things we're working on.
Okay, good.
But I'm glad you want to use them.
Yeah, it's on your agenda. That's good to know. And if you guys like, Tailwind is an official partner of Pinterest, right? So you guys work closely with Pinterest.
Yep.
That's an awesome thing. If you guys don't know that, they are an official partner of Pinterest.
Yes.
All
so
right.
When we build things, they know what we're building, and we always try to get their feedback. Is this in line with what you want? Yeah, because we want to keep them happy too.
I completely agree. So Lindsay says, just 5 minutes to schedule a new post. If you blog once a week, how long does it take to check the analytics and make adjustments? So Lindsay, probably like once a month, I would go in and take a work session. So my work sessions are probably like 2 to 3 hours, where I schedule some time for me to work on the blog. I do like 2 to 3 hours per day, and I get help, or my husband helps me, or I wake up super early, but I'll take one of those work sessions one day and go through all my Pinterest analytics and make sure things are still working right. So once a month, I do have to go check in and make sure I'm not spamming people. Is that okay, Elisa? What do you think? Should I do it more
once
often?
a week is great, especially with Smart Loop. When you have your loop set up, it's going to take a while to get through that content. So once a month is probably good for that.
Okay.
But I just have a question. So when you're scheduling your content, are you exclusively using Smart Loop now, or are you scheduling other ways? Oh, you are. Okay.
I am actually. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. it was just so easy, and I didn't have to like go touch too many things, and I can just add new pins to my loop and remove old ones that aren't doing well. And so I'm exclusively using Smart Loop. Wow. And Pinterest is still my main driver of traffic to my blog.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm working on some SEO now, but it's still not competing with Pinterest. Pinterest is still my amazing.
Well, and it's great that Pinterest is beginning to feel a little bit more like it's about SEO, right? It's about the keywords and making sure that everything's relevant to the content.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's becoming clearer, I think, especially as Pinterest has made that commitment to help content creators by
Yes.
answering some of our tough questions. So it's getting, people sometimes complain it's a little more complicated than it used to be, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just that we know more because they're sharing more with us. So it really puts you more in control of your success when you have that information.
Exactly. The more you know, the more you can tweak and make adjustments.
Yeah.
And one thing I was emailing back and forth with Pinterest and I referred to them as a social media platform. Okay, so this has happened to you too? And
Oh
they're like,
no, but like I mean that's yeah.
yeah,
What did
and
they say?
they're like, no, we're much more like Google. Okay,
Yes,
we're a visual Google.
absolutely.
Yes. So they corrected me. They're like, we are not. Facebook is different because I was comparing them to Facebook, and they're like, no, that is,
No,
and that's a good way to think about it too.
absolutely. It's even in their brand guidelines when you work with them and you market that it is not a social network. And it's not, if you think about the way people use it, right? People use Facebook and Instagram to project an image of themselves or their business in a way that they wish to be perceived. Whereas with Pinterest, what we're doing is we're going on there to find resources to become our best person, our best business.
Yes.
Right? We don't really care so much about our image on Pinterest, except that in the way that we brand our pins and we make them beautiful. But
right. But as a consumer, you don't.
Yeah. No, it's like the introverts network.
Yeah.
Right?
I love it.
And if you want to have friends in there, you can create a secret group board.
Yeah.
Right. And just talk about the pins amongst yourselves. Right. It's really not at all about what other people think of you.
That's very true.
Freeing and refreshing, I think.
It is. In like the world of Facebook and Instagram, it's nice to go to a place where people can be themselves and be like, this is what I plan to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
People get inspired and find new ideas on Pinterest. So if you can find a way to do that. And I think of an example where somebody had this article about 10 ways to fail at dieting. And it was doing really great on Facebook, but she's like, but it's not doing well on Pinterest. And I said, well, no, it wouldn't, because Pinterest is where people go to be empowered to do something, to make a change, to learn something new. Yeah. So if you can find a way to turn it around, right? Like 10 ways to succeed at dieting.
Right.
Right. And then you go to your blog post and maybe you put a subtitle, right? So that there's a connection between the pin and the blog post. But you have to make that mindset shift in your head if you want to make Pinterest work. Because like you said, there's no comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. I can go and pin stuff about how clean I want my house to look. And like, this is what I want my kitchen to look like. But I'm not going to pin or show that on Facebook because then people are going to know my house is messy. Like,
it looks good from here.
Oh, thanks. I actually organized this again because it was a mess. Oh, and I was supposed to clean this before a call. I'm sorry.
Oh, it just looks like you were working hard. So that's good.
My kids were drawing pictures. So they're awesome. I got most of it clean.
I love it.
And another thing that I love about Pinterest is the traffic that I get from Pinterest. It's still a little higher, but even the signups, a subscriber from Pinterest versus a subscriber from Facebook is more valuable for me. They actually engage with my products more. They stick longer with my content. My Pinterest followers are better followers than Facebook, which I love both platforms, but I think it's because in Pinterest, you actually go and search for it.
Yes.
Like you're searching for learning about blogging and then you sign up. Where in Facebook, you're like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And then you search and you sign up, but you might not have been searching for that initially.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it too.
So Pinterest traffic is better traffic for me. All right, so let me see. Let me see if we have any questions. If you see one stick out, you can see the comments too, right?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I'll just put them on.
Oh, I can now. I just had to hit a button.
Oh, awesome. Kelly says, will Tailwind save me time or will I spend more time setting up and messing with it? I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the blogging things and I'm hesitant to start somewhere new. So Kelly, you can have a free trial with Tailwind and you can test it out and see what it looks like. If you want to use my referral link, it's startamomblog.com/Tailwind. And can you tell us a little bit more about the free trial, Elisa?
Yeah, it's 100 pins.
Okay.
So however you want to use those. But yeah, I would recommend doing that as well. And I think that what you'll find is that it not only saves you time, but we also have something called a smart schedule. So we look at your content and your pins and your followers, and we figure out when your followers are most likely to be on and engaging with that content, which is so, so important. And
You
we're
actually
just,
look at our followers?
yeah. Yeah, we just
Wow.
figure out like when is the best time for you to pin that content for the best engagement,
That's
which
awesome.
matters a whole lot, right? Because Pinterest, when you first save a pin, Pinterest will show it to your followers first.
Yeah.
They watch for the reaction of your followers. And based on that, that helps them determine how good that content is.
Okay.
So if you can get your followers when they're on, right? So if they can see you in the follower tab or in the home feed because they happen to be on and active at that time, and you can get them to engage, that will help get your content out farther and faster. So the smart schedule to me has always been one of my favorite
Yeah.
pieces of it.
I had no idea how those times were recommended
Yeah, it's
in the
pretty
smart
neat.
schedule.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah, so but it will save you time. And especially if you get into a tribe that has some really great content, it will keep you active. So I did see a question about
Yeah.
pinning other people's pins, which I think kind of works well with the idea of the tribes. You from Danielle, she said, "Do you pin other people's pins in the same niche, or is that detrimental because it takes away from your content?" So when I'm talking to someone who's going to market on Pinterest, the focus is your content.
Hmm.
Right. So your boards should be about your content. Do I write about this? Make sure you have a couple of different boards where all your blog posts will fit, because that is the main focus. You want to get the traffic to your site. But Pinterest wants you to be active, right? They want you to be creating content weekly. They want you to be pinning every day. But if you don't have a ton of content, you can't just be cycling through your old content, like pinning to the same board every day, because you just can't. So that's when it's really helpful to pin other people's content.
Right, right, right.
To be active and to be pinning engaging content.
Right. And if you're in a tribe, then people can see your engagement, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And like you said, there is absolutely value in supporting your friends,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Beyond just the thought of how much traffic am I going to get.
Exactly.
There's just that reciprocation that's important. So yeah, that's why technically you don't have to, but but you probably will share other people's pins.
Yes, definitely. All right. So Lindsay says, does Tailwind or you, Susie, have a guide for SEOing pins? Do you use hashtags? Do you use keywords in the descriptions? Maybe Elisa can tell us about SEOing our pins.
Yeah, so let me share with you this blog post that I wrote this week.
Awesome.
And it says it's for e-commerce, but
We can use it.
you can absolutely use it.
Bloggers. Ooh,
Yeah.
sell on Pinterest. Okay, so I will put this on the screen.
So the part that I would really look at is the part about Pinterest keyword research. So, I mean, you're going to talk about your topics, but you're also going to go a little bit outside of that. So on Google, if you're trying to get optimized SEO traffic for, give me something that you've blogged about on your mom blog.
Time management for moms.
Okay, so if you were going to SEO that for Google, you probably would use time management and moms.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yes.
On Pinterest, you might do something similar, but you might also talk about family life, right? And realize that you can and should really, when you're pinning pins to the same board or to a new board, change up the description for SEO value, right?
Okay.
So if you're pinning to your, let's see, busy mom board.
There you go. Good
right?
Yes.
Okay. I finally got a good one. You're going to make your description how to save time as a busy mom doing whatever. If you're going to save it to your parenting blog, your description might be like, parenting takes a lot of time. Here's how to make the most of it, right?
Okay.
So I mean, obviously needs a little more thought than that, but
right,
the
but
idea
it's more of a sentence, more of a
you don't want to
actual
just keyword
description.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to and have it inspire people to know that this is something I can take action on, I can do something about, because they'll click on it and they'll go to your site. But the other connection is to connect the description with the board title, right? So the first example used busy in the description because busy is in the title, as opposed to on Google where it would be What was it again?
Time management for moms.
Time management for moms. That would be like where you would be. Time management, time saving, moms. On Pinterest, it's a little bit different. So family life, work-life balance, all those things that are a bit bigger, a little bit removed from the actual words themselves.
Okay.
Will bring in people in a different way.
Does it help to have your description have some of the keywords from your board? How does that help?
Yeah, it does. So when Pinterest looks at your pin, especially the very first time you save a brand new blog post to a board, you should save it to the most relevant board first.
Okay.
Because if you're doing like I had been doing for a very long time, is saving it to your general, this is my blog board, right? Yes. Then that doesn't tell Pinterest that much about the pin. Mm-hmm. But if you saved that time-saving blog to your busy moms board, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is about busy moms, saving time, parenting. Okay, there's more of a clue about what this content really is.
Yes.
And so it teaches them really how to help your content show up in the best searches.
Okay.
So if you think of it as you're teaching Pinterest, every time you pin your content to a board, they get a signal about what this content is. Mm-hmm. So if you can use the same keywords in the description, in the board title, in the content itself, that is a really strong signal. So for the first time you save something, try to get all those pieces to work together.
Okay. And then say I go back to my blog next week and I pin the same image to Pinterest, but to a different group board. Do I give it a new description?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, you don't have to, and it can still do okay.
Yeah.
But when you give it a different description, you're going to fit in a different search, right? You're going to meet the needs of a different type of pinner.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Can Pinterest read the text on an image?
No.
No? Okay.
Nope.
This is helping. Yeah.
Right. They can see it, but they don't know like what it says. And they also don't look at the image file name, which surprised me. They look more at what's on the page, on the blog itself. So they look at the title tag and all that good stuff. Okay. Because they really want relevance. They don't want people linking irrelevant pins to irrelevant boards that go back to content that has nothing to do with it. That's a terrible user experience, and they're committed to making sure that doesn't happen. So they're rewarding it when we can be super relevant from content to pin to board to profile.
Okay, awesome. So on the description box, do we put hashtags in there or not?
Yes, absolutely.
How many?
So originally they said fewer than 20, but they have revised that to say 3 to 4.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Yeah, which is a lot easier to come up with 3 to 4 relevant hashtags, right?
Fewer than 19.
Yeah. So you can use a branded hashtag. Okay. So you might use Start a Mom Blog.
Yeah.
Right. When I promote pins for Tailwind, I will only use a branded hashtag, Tailwind.
Yeah.
Because, if I'm going to pay for that pin to be seen, if anyone's clicking on a hashtag, I want it to show more about us. Right. Smart. But like for organic, it definitely can help you get found faster, especially with new content. Content. So if you look at the hashtag feed, usually, and things are changing all the time. So if you look right now, who knows? But usually you'll see the newest content first, and then we'll go down the page for that hashtag.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, so think about that as a boost for your new content. Don't go back to old pins.
Yes, that was my other question. Yeah. Okay. No. Don't have to go
and
back.
when you're repinning something, so saving directly from Pinterest to Pinterest, those don't show up in a hashtag search either.
Okay. It's just only new content.
Yeah, fresh pins. So it could be something you posted a year ago on your blog, but if you go back to your blog, pin it from there to Pinterest, or you pin it through Tailwind to Pinterest, that's a fresh pin or a new pin, and it will show up. It should show up. They're probably going to have to do a little filtering eventually as people start using them more
and more. Okay, awesome. I love that. All right. So Renee asks, does my Pinterest name on Pinterest, do I use my name to be the name of my blog or my real name? Good.
Well, the funny thing about Pinterest is that most of the searches are unbranded. So unless you are, say, Nordstrom or Macy's, your name itself isn't super important here. So what you'll often see is that people will have either their name and then a dash and then what they do, like so keywords, or they'll have the keywords and then their name.
Okay, that's what I do. I have Susie dash Start a Mom Blog.
Yes.
That's what my name is on Pinterest.
Yeah. So mom blog makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Right. Right. But there are sometimes when that itself, which still sounds like a branded name, wouldn't make sense. So let's see. I have a small agency, Elisa Meredith Marketing. That doesn't need very much. So I might do like Pinterest marketing, Pinterest ads, Elisa Meredith. Because I want people to know who I am, but it's more important that they know what I do and what my keywords are. And that's just another way that Pinterest can figure out more about you.
Okay, I like that. I like that. All right, so Kate here has a good question. Can you talk about how to schedule on Instagram from Tailwind?
How to schedule on Instagram. Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Yes. I don't do this yet. I know you guys have the feature.
We do have it. We also have auto post.
I don't have that much, like that many Instagram posts.
I know. I'm bad about Instagram myself.
I need to make more. Like I spend much more of my time on Pinterest. But yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just released a couple of really great new features. So on the blog right now, I guess it was earlier this week, there is a way that you can schedule stories on Instagram. So you can, and it's kind of a funny little hack that Melissa Meganson came up with. She's on the Tailwind team. But it works great now because you can toggle between auto posts, that is schedule your Instagram post that goes out when you tell it to, you don't have to do anything, or have it send you a notification.
Okay.
So you can choose that per post from the desktop. We're working on it on the app. It's coming just before anyone asks. And some of the issues that people had with auto posts were that if you tried to auto post an image that you took with your smartphone camera, it would be just out of ratio enough that it wouldn't go. And that's a limitation that came from Instagram.
Yeah.
And so people were getting failed posts. It was frustrating. But now we have auto crop. So if you try to do that and auto post it, we will auto crop it for you so that it will fit. And also you can do it yourself in the dashboard. So you can choose what style you want, if you want it landscape or portrait or square, and then just move the little slider around. So people are very excited about those two features. And we have other things coming like tagging people in auto post and also locations, I believe. So there's a lot coming, but something people really like about Tailwind, Instagram for Tailwind, is the hashtag finder.
Ooh, tell me about that. Like, sorry, I told you there's like so much of Tailwind I'm not even touching.
There's so much there. I feel like I'm not even getting everything. But it's been out for a while, but just this week they're making some major improvements to it. So when you enter your caption and then you start entering a hashtag, it will give you suggested hashtags. And it has some kind of color coded so you can see which ones are super popular, which ones are in a good spot so that there's enough volume but it's not too popular, and which ones are super niche, so like not a lot of traffic for them, but you might stand out more. It's just really helps you analyze the hashtags, and then you just click them and choose them. Oh. And if you have a list of hashtags you like to use, you can create a hashtag list and then just click and it puts it in there.
That's awesome.
It is. I actually use my hashtag list when I schedule it to Instagram. So bad about that. But it stores my formatting. So when I do a caption with hashtags, I want the caption, and then I want a little pin icon and some hash marks to bring my hashtags down below. Yeah. So it doesn't look messy. It kind of looks messy to me. And so I saved that as a hashtag list.
Okay.
So I can put it in. So you could do that with anything you want to put into every Instagram post, create a hashtag list and just put it in there.
That's very smart. I like that. Thank you. Because I see the people with like all these hashtags on Instagram, like how much did they type in their phone?
I know, and I can never think of any good ones. Yeah. But the other thing that they're working on is a way to make it so it will pull up suggested hashtags for you, even if you haven't entered a hashtag yet. So it will kind of look at the caption you're entering and suggest things for you.
Okay.
So that's in progress, but we're always trying to make it better.
I like that. All right.
So wait, there was part of that question about
go ahead.
Beta format. See, it's listed a beta in the dashboard. Well, it's not. It's open.
It's open.
But yeah, and will it function like Smart Loop eventually? We have talked about that, but there isn't as much call for reusing content on Instagram. So, I mean, if you have suggestions for it, absolutely write in and say, why you would like that, because what we build depends on what people want, right? What we
Right.
know works, but also what would be helpful to people.
Yeah, I saw like I when I go to Instagram accounts, I always see everything's new. Everything's brand new. There's no duplicate images. And
Right.
I actually once went to an Instagram account. Like I try not to be on it too much, but I saw he was looping things or he had the same post multiple times and there wasn't a very big gap. And I'm like, well, this is not how Instagram works. So it kind of
Yeah.
rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought it's
Yeah.
supposed to be all new.
Right.
So
The one thing you can do to a good effect is to reshare other people's content,
mm,
right? Especially if people are writing about your products,
yeah.
right? When you see that, you can repost. So it's always good to message people, but
Okay.
Tailwind will let you repost. So if you're on a blog somewhere and you see that someone's written about you and you want to share that to Instagram, you can use your Tailwind browser extension and schedule a repost,
Okay.
and it will tag them. So
Ooh, I need to figure that out too.
yeah, it's actually when you, I said it wrong. Go to Instagram, see their Instagram post, click on your browser extension, and it will pull that up,
Okay.
which is
Okay, that
even
makes
better,
sense.
actually.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was thinking, okay, if I'm on their blog post, how is that gonna, what images are gonna pull? But I go onto their
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah. You
Okay.
can still schedule from a blog to Instagram, which may or may not work for you depending on what blog you're on. But
Right.
yeah,
Okay, I like that. All right. So Lindsay asks, do you ever repin outside of Tailwind too? When you pin other people's pins, do you use Tailwind to do that? Lindsay, mostly I use Tailwind for my own stuff. So I throw my own stuff in the loop and then that goes. When I'm on Pinterest, like once a day or every once in a while, probably I try to stay off social media and just kind of create content and focus on that. And mostly in my inbox. That's mostly where I spend my time. But when I do spend time on Pinterest, that's when I'm repinning other people's things to boards that are relative to that pin. It's also when I just kind of browse Pinterest and see what's going on. So every now and then, I'm actually a consumer on Pinterest and
good
seeing
idea.
what's going on of the platform. And that's what I feel. I see a lot of successful bloggers when they just kind of spend time on Pinterest and see what's going on. That helps them the most too.
Yeah, and there is no technical reason why you'd have to pin
Mhm.
directly on Tailwind or actually go on the platform at all. But like you said, if you want to get in the mindset of an actual user of Pinterest, it's really helpful to go in and use it as yourself. Otherwise, you get a little too far removed and it becomes marketing in your head.
Exactly. Exactly. Every now and then I'm like, ooh, well, this is cool. Look at these like video pins. What is your viewpoint on video pins? That's kind of new, right?
It is kind of new. I think they can be helpful for awareness.
Yeah.
It's also really important to remember, just like if you're going to do it on Facebook, that it is useful even with the sound off.
Yes.
Because most people aren't going to probably turn the sound on, but you want some branding on there to build that awareness. Um, you can do ads that are videos, but again, those are mostly for awareness. So just keep that in mind that it's probably not going to generate a ton of clicks at this time. I think it could change as users start to get used to video on Pinterest. Right now, they still feel a little bit different.
Yeah, they do. They
But
do.
it feels like Pinterest is invested in making it work. So I have a feeling we'll see all kinds of cool things about video.
Am am I missing something? It's only if you pay for an ad that you can have a video pin, right? Or can I have a
No,
video pin now?
you can have a video
How do
pin.
I do that?
So when you go to Pinterest and you click on the little plus circle
Yeah,
at the top on the right,
I'm
you can
actually.
upload video.
Okay, so you have to do it directly from Pinterest. You can't do it from like if you have a video on your blog.
Right. You can pin from YouTube, but this is to actually upload a video as a pin to Pinterest. You go to the
Okay.
plus.
And then it will actually like play in the news feed.
Mhm.
This is cool. I'm learning so much. I like
But you
this.
know what though? If you want clicks, the way to do it, right, would be to create an image that
Yes.
links to your blog with the video on it.
Yes.
First, you got to think about, what do you want? Do you want that awareness and that videos are good for that because they're very eye-catching, or do you
Yeah.
want clicks to your blog?
Right.
Or do you just want to try it out? Just trying things
I
out
just
is
want to
fun
try it
too.
out. Like, what if you're like more of a visual blogger, like you're a food blogger or a fashion
Mhm.
blogger? Those videos might work.
They might.
Like cooking something, those little awesome BuzzFeed videos.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Evelyn says, "Hi Susie, can I post my pins in many boards?" Yes, yes, definitely. You want to post your pin to boards that are relevant to that pin. So the example that we used earlier was if you blog about time management for moms, you want to pin it to a board for busy mom solutions and maybe to another board for like parenting time management. So different boards, a little bit of tweaked audiences and titles, but overall you can pin that pin to those boards. And then Elisa, you would probably come back maybe a week later and repin it to the same boards, or how long would you take time between like your own boards? How
right. The same pin to the same board, probably a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
Right. And it also kind of depends on how much you're pinning every day.
Right.
Right. So if you're only pinning to a board once a week and it's the same pin, then
There's
that's
only 7 pins between the two. But yeah, if you're pinning, so maybe that's how we should say it. You want to have at least like a whole feed of pins before you see that pin again. Like you want to scroll a little bit and then be like, okay, I can pin that one.
And it's not because people are going to be going to your profile and then going to your board and browsing and seeing, oh, they repeated that pin. It's not the same as Instagram, right? Because people really are finding you through search primarily. But you have to think about the experience of your followers. So as you're sending out that same pin to the same board over again, your followers are going to see that.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's going to show up in your followers' home feed or the follower feed. You can kind of get a feel for what's too much, I think, if you think about that.
Right. I agree. I like that.
But yeah, absolutely pin it to every relevant board. Don't pin it to irrelevant boards because then it confuses Pinterest as far as what is this content, where should I show it? But it can be really effective too to have one board that's like my blog board.
Yes.
You'd probably you'd give it more keywords than that. But that would be a place where it's just your content, but it's every single piece of content.
Yes, I have a featured board, and that's where I put all my pins so that it's easy for me to go find my pins if I want to repin them. Or sometimes I actually go to my featured board and see what blog posts I wrote in the past because I can't find it in my own blog. And I'm like, I remember writing this.
Wow, you sound like me. But yeah, that's a great idea. And if you look at your, in Tailwind, there's something called Board Insights that will show you the engagement rate and the virality of your pins by board. I find that blog board is often near the very top.
Yes.
Because it's all content from your board, from your blog, rather.
Exactly. All right. So
yes.
Tamika says, should we pin to the most relevant board first and then pin a second time to other relevant boards? Yes. So great question. All right. Danielle says, how specific should your board be? How many should you have for the same category? I have real mom life, natural parenting, etc. What's your tips?
Think about your keywords. So do some serious keyword research on Pinterest. It's great to use the autofill feature, right? So you're typing it into the search box and it will bring up suggestions underneath. You choose one of them, it will bring up your guided search. So those tiles underneath it will tell you like, these are related keywords you should consider. And then also go into, pretend that you're creating a campaign for a promoted pin. Just fill out bogus information until you get to the second step, the ad group step, where you start to enter keywords. There's a box for related keywords, and you enter in your keyword, and it will tell you, it says it's search volume for those terms. So find some that are in the like 5 million plus range and work those in. And it's like you'll see some strange ones. I saw one that was looking at Pinterest always makes me hungry, and it said it had like 10 million searches a month, and I thought, no. So I asked him, I was like, what does this really mean? And what it really means is that's how often that interest shows up in the home feed. So you can't really expect that it's actual searches, but it does indicate interest in that term or that topic. So I would use those. But I mean, think about it the way people are not going to come to your profile and think, wait a minute, she has real mom life and natural parenting. That's just cheating. Now you can have boards that are very similar as long as they're different enough, they use different keywords, and ultimately, hopefully you're adjusting your descriptions to match that board too.
And then the description as well of the pin.
Yeah.
Okay. That you pin to that one. I love that. That's great advice. So definitely like go to the second screen of a promoted pin and then look for the keyword volume there.
Yep.
I love that. All right. Let's answer a couple more questions and then we will take a break.
Okay.
Do you need more than one Tailwind account if you have two separate blogs?
Yes,
Good
you
question.
do.
Yes.
Yes, you do. And you'll want that because you need to separate out your analytics.
Yes, I have two Tailwind accounts because I have two blogs that I use Tailwind for. So, and they're different. One is the mommy blogging stuff, and one is just mom stuff. So I don't want to combine the two because they're different group boards, different audiences. Like one is just moms who don't want to blog, but they're moms.
Yes.
And then ones are the moms who want to blog. So
Okay.
completely different accounts and different blogs that I run there. And it works nicely. Because I was thinking, how can I combine the two? And it just didn't make sense to me. I was thinking I was probably going to cannibalize my traffic by trying to do too much with one account. So I didn't want to do that.
Oh, and you're talking about Pinterest accounts too. So yeah. So you definitely need to have two Pinterest accounts, two Tailwind accounts. And if I did that, like if I thought, well, I'm going to have one Pinterest account for two blogs and one Tailwind account, I feel like I would end up making mistakes.
Yeah.
And putting things where they didn't belong.
Exactly. All right, let's answer two more questions.
Okay.
Is there a limit on characters listing your Pinterest business name? Could I add some keywords?
Yes, you should add some keywords. So if you try to do it on desktop right now, I believe it's limited to 30 characters. You'll see a lot that are longer, and that's because it used to be longer. I can't remember what it was, maybe 60. Do you remember?
I don't know. It was long.
It was long, but you can try it on your mobile, and you'll probably be able to get more than 30 characters.
Ooh,
just a little something I've heard.
Okay, I like those tips.
Yeah, but do use keywords.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I see one here by Kelly. We'll take this one last. And then any questions that you guys dropped again or still in the comments, I am probably going to recap this and write a blog post about it. All the tips that you gave us. Is that okay, Elisa?
Oh,
like,
of course.
You gave us so many amazing tips. Yeah. And like I took notes and I want to share this with you guys. So if you have a question that we didn't answer today, don't worry, I will get to it. Kelly has a last question here. Is it okay to pin the same pin every day if it's going to different boards or group boards?
Same pin, day after day, every day. That's probably going to be too much.
Too much. Like, okay, so say I have a pin I created today. I made my blog post. I created the pin today. Am I allowed to pin this pin to 5 different boards? Is that okay? Yeah. How would you do that? Yeah, would you change the description for each one?
Ultimately, ideally, yes.
Okay.
Realistically speaking, honestly speaking,
can you do that? That's a lot of
you know, so here, my workflow looks like this. I post a blog post, I share it immediately to Pinterest manually to the most relevant board.
Yes.
Then I set it up to go out using board lists and intervals in Tailwind.
Okay.
Then I add it to Smart Loop.
Okay.
So when I add it to board lists with intervals, the first time it goes out, I might do it more like 1 to 4 days in between. But if I'm going to be repinning it again later, again, think about your followers and what they're seeing in their follower feed if they follow you.
Yeah. You don't want to spam them too much.
Yeah.
Or spam them.
Not at all. Right. Because, I mean,
sorry,
not only spam them too much. Because not only may they not engage with it, which tells Pinterest, oh, your content's not engaging, they might actually report it. Like, oh, I see this every time I come on here, right? They're going to might report it, and that's not good.
That's good. Okay, it's good to know. Oh, man, there was just so many knowledge bombs that you dropped on us. I love it. I'm definitely going to turn this into a great blog post.
Ooh, I can't wait to see it.
Yes. Okay. So many tips, like screenshots of things that you shared that we didn't share today, but that I'll put in the blog post. Okay, so if you guys do want to sign up with Tailwind, they have a free trial. You get 100 free pins that you can start kind of testing out Tailwind and seeing if you like it. Do you like having a scheduler? Does it save you any time or not? My referral link is startamomblog.com/Tailwind. And any last words that you have for us, Elisa? I am so appreciative that you came on today. This is awesome.
Glad you had me. Thank you so much. And if you've got to check out the blog post on Tailwind that Susie wrote, because it's getting so many comments. Everybody loves it. They're just eating it up. But do try the trial. And if you get stuck, we have, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the best customer success team ever.
Yes,
So if you have any issues, let them know. We have some great resources to help you get started. It should be saving you time right out of the gate.
it definitely.
So
And
if it's not, let us know.
yes. And then speaking to your customer service, like I've talked to them through video before. They're amazing. They've helped me with the smart loop and understanding it. So yeah, you're completely right. Your customer service is amazing.
Thank you. I'll tell them you said so.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Elisa. I hope
Thanks
you
for
have
having me.
I hope you have a
Thanks for
wonderful
being
day.
here, Mom. You too. Bye.
Bye.